Good evening everyone and welcome to the 10th round of Season 16 in Division 2. My name is Felix1. I'll be taking you through tonight's action here at the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got the third to last race of the season today. And as you can see, we've got a wet qualifying here. The race is dry, according to the drivers, that's what they're telling me. Gabriel, Mihai, Viral. No, Gabriel Mihai is saying dry race, there we go. So that is the weather report for today. And I would say this looks like, well, it's F124, so it will be intermediates. But it could be heavy wets for the first few minutes before it goes to intermediates fairly quickly, as we know in this game. Dry line starts to form very, very quickly. So I think even from the start, the inters will be equal. And then after a minute or two, or a lap or two, you will start to see the intermediates get faster and faster in comparison to the full wets. The first car on track, nonetheless, is the Aston Martin of Aber, who is on the full wets. And of course the track. It certainly looks like it should be full wet conditions. And he has a bit of a lock up there to turn 3, the car getting a little bit loose on the outlap already. And on exit as well. Very much struggling. Or is he just warming the tires up? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's oversteering or warming the rears. Of course, we had a wet qualifying as well in Division 1. So the drivers will actually be somewhat accustomed to this, at least the ones that actually raced on Saturday. And the first driver who comes to start a lap is indeed the Aston Martin of Ada, who is a reserve driver. He's replacing Marcelio for today. Although he goes back to the pit lane actually, so... Oh, and a lot of understeer there. So he's not going to start a lap after all. He almost spins into the pit lane. Then we've got the Mercedes of Aussie, who's going to start a lap. And I must say my game is a little bit loud. There we go. So Aussie braking it down the meter board for the first corner, down the third gear. And all over the curb on the exit. Bit of wheel spin as well with the rain coming down heavily. Aussie has opted for the intermediates, but we'll see what the best tire is. The full wet can, if it's really, really wet, it can actually be faster, at least for a qualifying session. So we shall see. But it's worth mentioning, you only actually have one full wet for qualifying available. So if you use that now at the start, you will not have it at the end. Or you will have a fresh one. So... because of that, I always go for the intermediates at the start, no matter what. No matter how wet it is, I will always be on the intermediates. And if it actually does stay full wet the entire way through, I will have the full wet for the end of the session. Of course, coming into this race, with so few races left to go, the championship is, well, very much up for grabs. There was actually a penalty applied to Edwin after the Hungarian Grand Prix, which means he lost his race win. The race win going to Kukro. PC only got a penalty as well, so Kukro won ahead of Mihai, and then third place went to PC Woody still. Edwin finished 4th in the end with his penalty applied for a move he made on Kukro into turn 4, where he just kind of sent it up the inside and caused a small collision. With that, Edwin scored 12 points, Gabriel scored 8 after all 0 penalties were applied. And that means that what seemed on the day to be the final nail in the coffin for Gabriel's title shot, well, it certainly wasn't a great day for him. Still, everyone gained points on him, and he lost a chance to gain some points on him. But it is still possible, I would say. 27 points Edwin has got over Gabriel. Edwin on 151, Gabriel on 124. It's mathematically possible for Edwin to steal the championship today. To do so, he needs to take both the win and the fastest lap, while Gabriel scores 0. That would ensure that he is 53 points ahead, which would mean that he is not not able to be caught anymore. But that's a very, very unlikely scenario, I would argue. Of course, mathematically, Cujo and PCW are also in the title hunt. Cujo on 100 points, 51 behind, and PCW on 99, 52 behind. Sully also would still be in the title hunt, as he is 66 points behind on 85, but he's not racing today, so with that, he has been knocked out of mathematical contention. Of course, if you're not racing, you can't score any points. But for sure, the main contenders are the two Ferraris, and of course Edwin with the gap he has. Certainly the favorite, but I would not count Gabri out at the moment. Gabri sitting on pole position with a 1:14.9, quite a few laps coming in there while I was running through the standings. Lanky Brown goes 9th fastest, and of course, while we're at it, I might as well have a quick look at the constructors, but of course with the Ferraris being 1-2 in the driver standings, it will not surprise you to know that they are also leading the constructors by almost 100 points over VCARB. Ferrari on 275, VCARB on 184, and then there's another big gap to Red Bull on 104 in P3. So the constructor standings not particularly close at the moment. Oh well, this season, that's not going to change anymore, I reckon. And here we have Arda coming into the final corner. Oh, and he spins around. Too eager on the throttle, and in conditions like these, that will punish you, or you will be punished from that very, very quickly. And that's the end of his qualifying lap. Got one of the Red Bulls coming up behind him. That is Desi, who goes 15 fastest with a 22.5, 6 seconds off the next car, so fairly certain that he had a spin somewhere on that lap as well. At the moment, it appears that the full wet is actually the better tyre. I see only a handful of drivers actually on the intermediates with their best laps. Not even a handful. Ossie, Edwin, and, well, Guga and Ada, but they, well, are quite far off the pace, so, yeah. Guga 9 seconds, Ada 14 seconds from the first competitive lap time of Edwin in 14th. So, you can count those out. They had a spin or a big mistake on that lap somewhere. And Ossie and Edwin, especially Edwin, quite far towards the back. And, of course, he's someone that you would expect to be quite far towards the front, really. So it looks like the full wet is the better tyre at the minute, and, of course, seeing the conditions, that wouldn't be surprising normally, but on this game I am actually surprised. But I feel like I'm starting to see a little bit of a dry line form, so I do think this will swing towards intermediates. The thing is, if it doesn't, this is actually very good news for those who started the qualifying on the intermediates, because like I said, you only have one set of full wets. So everybody else who went on the full wet now early will have put some tyre wear on that set, and will not be able to use the full potential of the tyre at the end of qualifying. Bazooka up by 6/10 in the first sector alone. So he is absolutely flying at the minute. We've got Cujo who's inviolated. Phantom Fox down by 6/10. None of the guys near the front on that level. Ossie is now out on the full wet, because he was the fastest on the intermediate earlier by an absolute mile. Over a full second he's got to Edwin. Bazooka comes into the final corner. And the Alpine man, where is he going to put the car? That's a 1:16.149, which is good enough for P11. We've got Arda, I think, starting another lap here. Can stay on board with him for a little bit as he goes down towards turn 1, braking just before the 100-meter board. Gets the car rotated nicely, stays in 5th gear all the way through. Short shift to 6, so he's being very careful on the throttle on those intermediates. Of course, with the rain coming down so heavily, that makes quite a bit of sense. Now braking just before the 100-meter board, about 125. A 10th slower than his previous best in Sector 1. But of course, we saw him have a spin on that lap, I believe. I believe it was that lap to 130, so the lap time is to be found in the final sector. And once again, braking just before the 100-meter board, for turn 4, goes a little bit deep. And loses the car on exit, has caught it at least though, but it's certainly cost him a good bit of time there as he has another wobble on exit. Now through the double left, and once again the car becoming really unstable. Arda is struggling quite a bit here with the car, 1.2 seconds down on his previous best, and another big snap of Austria. Now heading into the last 2 corners. Braking about 75 meters for turn 9, and he almost spins the car once more, goes into that pit lane. He's not even going to finish the lap, goes into the pit wall as well, and oh Jesus, and he spun the pit lane. Thankfully for him, the car was reset there, because that could have ended his qualifying. Pisibuli coming to the end of his first flying lap, also on the intermediates here, which do not look particularly fast right now. He goes 11th fastest, I think, confirming once again the intermediates not the tire to be on, because Aussie just improved on the full wet as well, and Pisibuli down 11 is not something you usually see in Division 2, or not even Division 1 for that matter. Pisibuli usually near the front there as well, within the top 5 I would say. So right now, very good signs for Gabri. He's P1, his title rival down in P18. Because Gabri is now put on the intermediate and he is significantly slow. He's actually abandoned a lap, I think. So it very much looks like the full wet is the tire to be on, which on F124 is very, very unusual. We've got Viral up by 95,000 here. That could be enough to steal pole away from Gabri. Viral, so far with a very tough season, he's actually only scored 6 points. He's 18th in the standings. Last season, he was a whole lot better than that. Let me look it up. He finished the season in P... that is Division 1 standings. Genius, Felix. He finished the season up in P7 on 58. So he had a very strong season last time around. This time, not so much. And Viral does improve, but not by enough, I think. Oh, he invalidated. My bad. Cuckoo, though, he's up with a massive gain. 7 tenths across the line. 14.440 for the Italian. Dispatches another Italian off pole position. We've got Sean on the intermediates. Oh, Yusuf was joined and immediately left. Yusuf was having some trouble joining the session earlier. I think he's trying to join now throughout qualifying. I'll see if I can invite him again. There we go. Fox goes top, 14.337. That's what Sean coming from the final corner on the intermediates, and Yusuf once more joined and immediately left. Sean over the line, 14.766, the fastest time on intermediates by an absolute mile. Maybe the intermediates are coming into their own finally. I would say I see a bit of a dry line. The rain is lessening as well. Aussie goes top, 14.0. The lap times are falling down rapidly. I think the rain is getting less and less intense, is it not? Desi into the final corner, currently in P11. Is he gonna improve on that 16.0? He won't. He's starting the lap, I think, because he's got loads of ES. He wasn't even using that lap. Dylan has invalidated. Dylan actually on his first race on the Xbox. He's moved from PS4 to the Xbox Series. What is the new gen Xbox called? Whatever it's called. I think it's Series X, but don't quote me on that. I am not versed in Xbox. Bazooka goes top, 14.009. He's gained 1.7 seconds there on his previous best. A great lap from Bazooka. But I'd say a gain like that, 1.7 seconds, is really only possible when the track gets quite a bit drier. Here comes Edwin, P5. I will try to invite Yusuf one more time. But I'm not sure if it's gonna do anything, sadly. And now on another lap, currently 19th. He, of course, hasn't put in a representative lap time yet. But he's coming from the final two corners. And this looks a lot better, the car. Of course, still a little bit loose. Of course, it's wet weather driving, so that's to be expected. But he goes P11, and there we go. That must have been a whole lot better than we saw earlier, where he was sideways pretty much every single corner. Edwin, in the meantime, has gone up to P6. 3 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. Who's going to be out at the right time now? Who's going to be out on the right tire, also crucial, because I am seeing a bit of a split here now between inters and full wets. At the moment, Bazooka on the full wets, followed by Aussie on the full wets as well. But Aussie is back to the pit lane for Inters. Sean, on the Inters, let's see. Are the Inters any good? He comes up to the line, and yes they are! 112.9, he's 1.1 seconds clear of Bazooka. And of course, as much as Sean is an amazing driver, being a 3-time world champion, I would say most of that will be down to the tyre difference. The intermediates are certainly the tyre to be on now at the end of qualifying. The track has dried quite a lot, and essentially everything you've done up to this point, Gabri gets pretty close to Sean actually with only a 2/10 gap there. But still, you definitely want to be on the intermediates. DC Viral is on second mid, but he's unvalidated. Google River starting a lap on the intermediates. Takes on an outlap. Aussie on an outlap on Inters as well. We've got Cuckoo starting lap on the intermediates. Still warming them up actually. Might be doing a double outlap, I think. We've got 1.5 minutes left to go. I think at this point, if you are out on track, you are committed to that tyre. It's too late to come back in and back out. Fox out on the intermediates. Trying to catch someone who's on a lap actually, but... Is anyone on a hot lap? Always just went 4th fastest. On the full wets, 113.402, of course the track getting drier and drier will also improve the lap times of the guys on full wets. Oh, that was not ideal from the Haas teammates there. Good River letting Mihai past. Just about off track there. Mihai though up by 1.5 seconds on his previous best. His previous best a 1:16.119, with which he is P17, but he's on the full wet tyre, which I would believe is the worst tyre. Also, I mean, look at Bazooka's done 8 laps from that full wet. That's what I mean, you only have one of them. So when you start using it from the start of qualifying and then use it all the way through, you'll have crazy tyre wear. Mihai goes 7th fastest, 14.186. Aussie on a hot lap. He, after Milsekter, has gained 1.1 seconds. Yusuf has now joined the lobby. I think he's not immediately left, that's a good sign. Sean isn't validated. Bazooka does not improve, I think he was recharging the energy. Gabri over the line. Starting another lap, I believe. Yep, he was 45 seconds down. Aussie into the final 2 corners on the intermediates. Can he beat all of those guys on the full wets? Needs a full second, which I think he was on for. And that's a 1:11.979, a full 2 seconds gain, and he goes a second clear of Sean Moole in 2nd place. The track is ramping up. DC Rara goes top now. And Mercedes 1-2, 1:11.788. Then we have Pix in 3rd place. Next car over the line, Lanky Brown on an outlap. Then I see an Alpine. That will be Flavors, who was on an outlap but just got didn't make the line in time. So the AI is taking control for him. Hopefully he won't get in anyone's way. Then I think that's Guga River, who is invalid. Then we have Kluko down in 13th on the intermediates. And then we've got Gabri and Edwin in that train in behind. All on a lap at the minute. So Kluko will be the first to come across the line of the next big group. And then we'll see lots of times come on at once. That is Edwin, Dylan, Gabri, Phantom Fox. Kuko goes top, 1:11.629. And then I see one of the Ferraris. Gabri slowing down. Dylan over the line, improves to 5th. Edwin stays in 14th. Phantom Fox goes to P3. And is anyone still on lap? Otherwise, I think might be back in the pits. I see a Red Bull, but that's, I think, an AI car. Because Kuko and Desi are both done. Viral over the line, not on a hot lap. I think we are done already. And Kuko takes pole position with a 1:11.629 ahead of DC Viral, 1:11.798. Tough season he's had so far, but finally a great qualifying for him. Phantom Fox up in 3rd place, 1:11.814. Then we have Aussie, 1:11.979. It's worth mentioning, Kuko actually the first driver to ever get more than 1 pole position around here. So far, no one has had more than 1 win, more than 1 podium, or more than 1 pole position. Kuko the first one who takes his 2nd pole, so the first basically to get a second accolade around here, if you want to describe it like that. So there we have the full results. The top 5 all on intermediates. Dylan the fast on the full wets, 112.474. Then Sean on the intermediates, 112.927. Bazooka in 8th, Garbly down in 9th, but his title rival Edwin even further down in 14th. Always rounding out top 10. Then we have PC Uli, Mihai in 12th, Desi in 13th, like I said, then Edwin and Flavors in 15th with 2 Lithuanians right next to each other. Lanky Brown in 16th, Arda in 17th, Google River in 18th, and Action Rig rounding out the grid in P19. I'm not sure if Yusuf ever got in. I don't think he did, unfortunately. So we are going to be just off the full 20-car grid, I believe. Wow, that was quite interesting with, at the end there with the rain. Oh, Yusuf actually, I did see him in the loading screen there, so maybe he is going to be in the race, but wasn't in the qualifying. Yeah, what a qualifying that was at the end. The track getting drier and drier, the laps coming down, the inters getting into the window right at the end was a really tough choice, and that was, I think, what decided that qualifying. Of course, the top 5 being on intermediates, and after that, quite a lot of full wets, so that's not a coincidence. That qualifying was mostly decided by your tire choice. But now we are on the grid in dry conditions. None of that sort of, well, of course, strategy will still be important in the race, but it'll be a lot more about pace now than it was in the qualifying. But as we know about Austria, it's a very short track with 3 long DRS zones. There will be quite some big DRS trains around here, I imagine. And that could lead to chaos, of course, as well. So many cars in such close proximity trying to battle for position. There will be incidents. It's impossible to avoid. And when you drop out of that DRS train, it's quite hard to get back into it. There simply is not really enough corners in between the DRS trains to gain any time. Of course, on the straights, everyone is at the same pace. Everyone can put the pedal all the way down. That isn't difficult. And then, like, if there's only 10 corners, there isn't a whole lot of space to gain lap time against the guys who are in DRS to each other and are, of course, then faster than you down the straights. And there we go! The 5 red lights are on. Kruger on the right hand side and Viral on the left. Who's gonna lead down to turn 1? It's lights out and away we go. Kruger with a pretty good start, it looked like. Viral not alongside the inside. Phantom Fox looking around the outside. And then we have Aussie sitting in behind that. A bit of a glitch once again, same as last with the leaderboard, but that was just on my end, so I think it will fix itself. We've got a yellow flag at the back. Arda is already out of the race. And we've got a full core safety car out on track. That's Arda and Yusuf with wing damage. And Dylan at the back of the field as well. He started up in 5th, didn't he? So something has happened to Dylan. Arda out the race, Yusuf with wing damage. So I imagine those 3 got tangled up in a crash. It's very unfortunate for Arda, who's already had an early DNF in Division 1 as well with an incident with another car. And now the leaderboard is pushed down to P14 where he was, or where he actually is, rather than being up there in P1. A great start by Garby there up into 7th. Great start by Edra as well up into 11th. Lanky Brown up 4 places. Guga up 4 places. Those are our biggest gainers. Perceivably up 2 as well as Flavors. Most of the drivers are going to be staying out on the stage. I imagine they all started on the mediums apart from Yusuf and Nada, who both went for the hards. Lanky Brown is in and so is Flavors. So what do we have here? Is this a strategical stop? Or are they going on to maybe a zero-stop strategy, essentially, pitching now for the hards and going to the end? No wing change for Lanky Brown, but a wing change for Flavors. He had wing damage somewhere. Of course, Yusuf, we saw him with the wing damage. He's changing that one. Lanky Brown just came in for a stop onto hard compound tires. He wants to try and go long, of course. He saves himself a pit stop with this. If he can bring those tires to the end, which they definitely can last a full race, the hards. Well, yeah, he's essentially on a zero-stop strategy now. He's given up a bit of track position for that. I think he was up in 14th, if I remember correctly. So not even lost that much. And even if he can't make this last, of course, he can just go back to the mediums later on, and he won't be that far behind where he would have been. Yusuf, how has he ended up here? Under safety car. Rejoins the racetrack, of course. Interesting. He's just completely gone straight in turn 3. Not something you usually see, but I'm glad he's gotten back underway. So the safety car should be in at the end of lap 3, and then we can get underway for racing once more. The top 5 remaining pretty much unchanged. I'm not sure if it's pretty much... they're completely unchanged, aren't they? Yep, the top 5 remaining unchanged. After that, Sean and Gabri moving up a couple places. But this is a good start for Gabri for sure. He is up in the points in 7th, Edwin down in 11th. Of course, the more cars he has between himself and Edwin, the better. For one, Edwin can get stuck behind people and maybe lose the DRS to the leading train. And of course, being ahead, you get more points for that, if you stay ahead at the line. Arda is back in the pits for another wing change. Also back onto the medium tire. Interesting. So I suppose in that little excursion he had, where he just kind of went straight into turn 3, he also damaged his wing. I'm not sure what happened to him there. But, well, since it happened under safety car, thankfully for him, he hasn't really lost any time from that. He can just drive to the back of the train again, and then, yeah, he'll be where he would have been anyway. Safety car might actually go another lap then, because he won't be here in time for the safety car to come in now. So yeah, we'll have one more lap of safety car, but end of lap 4, for sure the safety car will be in. And now we'll have 32 laps of racing. So this is very good news if you're Lanky Brown. The longer the safety car stays out, the less laps you have to do on that hard tire to go to the end. Of course, with guys like Dylan, Edwin, Pisiburi as well down in 9th, Gabri down in 7th. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they go through the field. There should be quite a few guys moving up from that pack. Drivers we are very used to seeing to the front. Currently down, well, either at the low end of the points or way outside the points in the case of Dylan. So we could be set up for a very, very exciting race. Of course, Cuckoo, I mean, Cuckoo with an outside shot of the title at the moment, his title rivals, both Edwin and Gabri. Edwin is scoring 0, Gabri is scoring 8. Is that right? 6, Gabri is scoring 6 points only. So, yeah, that would be a massive swing in favor of Cuckoo and might even get him back in, well, I wouldn't say right back in title contention, but he'd certainly be a whole lot closer if the race were to end like this. And what a comeback that would be in the standings in the championship fight if Cuckoo were to somehow get involved in this championship fight. But we've got a long, long way to go in this race and a lot of time for mainly Edwin, of course. He is the one everyone has to catch to make up some places and get some points out of this. Safety car has of course been called in now. Cuckoo will lead the restart, slowing down the pack, warming those tires up, and he can decide when he restarts this race. And he's chosen to restart just before the last corner, and a good reaction from DC Rival. Not quite good enough to attack Cuckoo down to turn 1, of course. Turn 1 not winning an overtaking opportunity anyway. Simply too tight of a corner and too quick of a corner to really go side by side through there. But Cuckoo makes a mistake on the exit, and that will open the door to DC Rival, who of course immediately takes that invitation and moves up into the lead of the Grand Prix. DC Rival, and now Thunderfox having a look up the inside as well, but no, decides better off that one. Sticks behind Cuckoo in 3rd place. So it's DC Rival now who leads this Grand Prix, and now Thunderfox and Cuckoo. Sauber against Cuckoo, a rival we've seen quite a bit of in Division 2. Mainly in the chats, really. They really do not like each other. Well, it's a bit of fun banter. They don't actually hate each other, as far as I know. But it's quite nice seeing them out on track together for once, rather than in the chats. PX has lost DRS to the top 4, so it could be a case of Aussie, Phantom, Kuko and Viral deciding this one amongst themselves unless Pix can find another gear and stay in that DRS range. Oh my god. Look at Gabri, he's practically pushing Sean through the final 2 corners there. He needs to get past these guys to stay in that lead train, of course. He's so close behind Phantom, once again to the, behind Sean, sorry, once again to turn 1. We've got a battle for the lead brewing as well, that's Kuko with the DRS on Viral. Phantom might follow through, will he? Sticks behind. In behind, do we have Gabri with a move on Sean? Oh, maybe on the exit. Yes. Better exit from Gabri, and he moves up to P6. And is he gonna get Pix as well in one go? I don't think he will. Pix is closing quite a bit because the cars ahead are battling. So he's once more in the DRS train. Viral is retaking the lead of Kuko while I was watching Gabri and Sean. Gabri now up the inside on Pix, through the middle sector, through the double left-hander. Very good move from Gabri and a very crucial move to get himself into that top 5. Start chasing after Aussie. Puts more and more cars in between himself and Edwin. Edwin, in the meantime, he's up to 10th on the back of Bazooka now. Gabri trying to fight back in this championship battle. Has he got maybe one more chance to take this championship home? At this point, being 27 points behind with 3 years to go, he does need to hope for at least one bad race from Edwin, I would say. Completely on his own merit. It is not possible anymore, but this... If Edwin is down in 10th right now, this could be the bad race that Gabri needs from him. But here comes Edwin. Of course, he doesn't want to be having any of that. So he sends him up the inside on Bazooka and Sean in one go. Up to 9th and maybe 8th as well if he gets a good run down the straight. But he's out of EAS here, so I think Sean is going to be holding on to that position for a little while longer as well. At the front, a lead change. Kuko gets past Viral. Look at that, and behind Viral with a good run on Phantom side by side with Aussie as well. We've got a 4-way fight for the podium place, and Gabri just sneaking in behind there. He wants to get involved in this, of course. And look at PC Woolly up the inside of Pix into the second of the double left-hander. Now has to go around the outside into the final 2 corners, but he has a good run. And Pix has to back out. That's PC Woolly up into P6. But the entire field down to Desi still on the DRS train. Dylan has dropped out of it. But we've got a DRS train from P1 to P14. 2 Haas in the background I see battling with Desi as well. Aussie goes a bit deep to turn 1. And that might open the door for Gabri with a good run down to turn 3, but he's out of EAS. He's going to be stuck behind him for a little while longer. Viral now once again with the DAS swap on Kuko. Going to be swinging quite a bit of that, of course. The DAS is so powerful around here. And Edwin is dropping places. Oh, is he? He's back up to 8th. I think he was ready to make a move on Sean, and there was a bit of a moment behind, I'm not sure. Now he's in the back of Pix, and he sends it up the inside into turn 4, late on the brakes from our championship leader. And Pix now on the inside into the double left-hander. But he can't have the run. Edwin goes clean around the outside. Meanwhile, Thunderfox sneaking past Aussie in the battle for P3. Gabri trying to find a way through, has to slam on the brakes in the middle of the straight to avoid driving into him. And look how close they all are through these final 2 corners. That's Phantom trying to go around the outside of Kuku through the last corner. Not a place you usually see an overtake. But he's pulled it off. He's got the outside line into turn 1. They're side by side actually. Kuku is still in there. Kuku breaks as late as he possibly can. Phantom tries to hold it around the outside still. And now Phantom with the better exit does clear Kuku eventually. Yellow flags in behind, I think, for one of the Haas drivers. I think that's Mihai who's gone around. Aussie up the inside on Kuku now. That's Gabri and PC really also side by side. So much battling happening here. We've got Edwin right behind them with a very nice view. And now they're going to be 3 wide. That's PC really, Kuku and Gabri. Kuku late on the brakes, makes a bit of contact with Aussie. Gabri gets a little bit loose and has to settle for 6th place for the moment. But this is an almighty battle. Oh, PC really gets a bit loose on the curb. And that links he loses out to Kuku. Thankfully for him, only that one position. Gabri still behind him. And Kuku, with a mistake there, gets passed by PC Woody. Gabri had a look up the inside as well, but he couldn't quite sneak past there. Kuku seems to be struggling a bit. I see a pit stop in behind. I think that's Sean and Bazooka coming into the pits very, very early. They might be trying to get out of this track because this is an absolutely, yeah, an absolute, yeah, look at all this fighting. Oh, that's 2 cars round. That's Aussie and Thunderfox both round through turn 1. Thunderfox is back on track. Aussie is completely round and he's down to P12 here. Thunderfox, I'm not sure if they have damage. Thunderfox, I think, caught it for sure before the wall. I'm not sure if Aussie went into the wall. But nonetheless, and look at that, now we all of a sudden, Edwin and Gabri up in 3rd and 4th. Oh, Cuckoo, so late in the brakes! And I think he's hit Gabri. Does Gabri have damage from that? Cuckoo, I think, outbraked himself, tried to battle with Edwin. I think he's giving Gabri damage because that looks like quite a bit of understeer. I'm not gonna get a good camera angle on it right now. Yusuf with the disconnector as well down in P16. I'm not sure if that's a rage quit or if it's Intel's gone. Gabri's wing looks intact. And so does Edwin's. So, thankfully, Cuckoo hasn't just ruined the title fight with that, but that was not a good thing to see. Pisivoli and Viral, in the meantime, have gotten away. Because of that send of Cuckoo, Gabriel, of course, lost quite a bit of time. And he's lost DRS to Viral and Pisivoli. And now he needs to try and get back into that DRS. To stay in the fight for the race, because of course he needs all the points he can possibly get, and there we go, he's back in DRS. Very crucial to get back in immediately, because if you do a full lap out of the DRS range and you've tried burning all your ERS and you're out of ERS, then you just start losing time every single lap. Thunderfox trying to get back past Cuckoo after his wobble at turn 1. Aussie had to make a pit stop, so I imagine that he had wing damage indeed from the incident. Let's calm down a little bit now. I've got a train from P1 to P10 there. From Pisivoli to Owise. And then of course you have to keep an eye on Bazooka, Sean, Aussie and Mihai. Those guys have made their pit stops early. They're gonna be undercutting all of these guys now. And Gabri looking for a move on Viral into turn 3. Has got the inside line. Viral caught behind Pisivoli, and Gabri might get them both at once, will he? Nope, Pisivoli is clear. It's difficult to tell that camera angle. Oh, Gabri with a big wobble, and he hits Viral. And Viral is round. Oh no. Viral from a position where he was fighting for the race win. Gabri has a moment of honesty on the exit, and well, hits him, sends Viral into a complete spin. Viral goes off into the barrier. He's got wing damage and he's down to P14, way off the lead of the race now, where he was earlier. And well, with the penalty now likely hanging over Gabri's head, that's gonna really hamper his title ambitions. And for Viral, that's his race completely ruined, so a nightmare for both of them really. But if you're Edwin, you would have absolutely loved to see that. Oh, that's Pix who almost goes round in the background. What a save though by Pix to get that car pointing in the right direction again. Cuckoo of course does take advantage, and Phantom Fox might as well. As he goes up the inside, into turn 3, up the hill. And indeed, he has gotten the Williams on traction now. DC Ryan now into the pit lane with a wing change, and the swap into the hard compound tire comes out. Down in last place behind Mihai, I think. It's close. Yep, he's behind Mihai. Lap 13 of 36. We are getting close, I would say, to the usual pit window onto the hards anyway. 3-second time penalty to Owise. Him and Lanky Round so far the only ones who have picked up a penalty. They went over the white line 3 times now in this race. Oh, Yusuf controller broke. He's just messing with me. That's unfortunate. I see, that's why Yusuf is no longer in the race. But we are going to be seeing these guys DRS swapping for quite some time in this race now still. That's Gabri with a move on his teammate Edwin. And Edwin makes a move on Pisivoli, turns defense into attack. Gabri up the inside as well. Pisivoli needs him to space, but on the outside he gets a better exit. And he's gonna try and come back at Edwin, is he? Yes, there we go, around the outside. In the background, Phantom's gotten past Cuckoo. Gabri to the outside as well, tries to go around just to love his teammate. Tries a switch back on the exit. Nope, tries to go around the outside actually once more. But nothing working for Garbrandt. He's just stuck there in P3. PC has retaken the lead and he's got loads of EAS. Look at the EAS of PC compared to Edwin and Garbrandt. Kukro has lost the EAS in the leaders. Has Kukro picked up damage? Because I feel like his pace has dropped off quite a bit. I don't see any damage. Edwin into the pit lane. Undercut from our championship leader, Fox in as well. Those two pitting early. And Guga goes past Kukro for P3 in this race. They are now 2 seconds behind the two leaders, Garbrandt and PC. So it looks like PC, Garbrandt, as well as Edwin, and I think Phantom as well was in that group, have run away from the rest of the field. Of course, that might change after the pit stops. That is always a very crucial phase of the race, and we've got Pix there with quite a bit of wing damage on the front left end plate as well. So where do those guys come out? Edwin is in the middle of traffic. He's actually been undercut by Bazooka and Sean. So Sean and Bazooka are now the effective leaders of the race. And only 5 level hearts. That was a very good strategic move by Bazooka and Sean. Although Bazooka gets passed by Edwin. Of course, they are going to struggle to beat those guys on track. But they will have that DRS. They can stick with them maybe. And just beat the rest of the field that way. Oh, Yusuf wants an invite. Okay. I guess his controller is fixed. There we go. Invite sent. We've got quite a few more people in the pit lane now. That's PC Wooly, Gabri, Kukro, and Pix all coming in at once. Yusuf disconnecting the moment he joined as well there. And then they come out the pit lane, and look at how busy that is. Phantom Fox going through the middle of Bazooka and PC Wooly, and he passed them both. Phantom Fox up into 7th on track. And now we have Bazooka ahead of PC Wooly. PC Wooly needs to try and get past him here to make sure he can stay with Phantom Fox. Edwin has gotten past Sean, and if Edwin can have Sean and Bazooka here causing a bit of chaos maybe on those slightly older hard tires, then maybe he can get away from the rest of the field. And now the rest of the field in as well. Lanky Brown in the hearts, the only one still going, of course. He could try and go to the end here. That's Google River, Alwise and Desi in the pit lane, releasing Edwin into 2nd place. Gabriel now with a good run on PC Wooly for 6th place. And he's gonna get past. And he might get Bazooka as well, gets them both in one go. Garbri up the inside on the Alpine. And I think he has got the better exit as well. Yep, that's Garbri up into 5th place. Bazooka's gonna try and come back at him though. He's burning a bit of overtake down into turn 4. But he hasn't got the run. Now up ahead, that's Edwin battling with Sean and Phantom Fox. 10 seconds a gap from Edwin to Lanky Baron. And with 19 laps to go, I reckon they will catch him if he doesn't pit. Mihai now out of the race. I'm not sure if that was in the pit, and I'm inviting Yusuf right now. Got a full core safety car. Full core safety car. So Mihai has crashed out on track somewhere at turn 4. I see him stop there. Lanky Brown into the pits. And let's see what these guys do. Edwin is staying out. Sean is in. Phantom out. Gabri out. Bazooka in. PC out. Kuku out. Aussie out. River out. Desi out. Dylan in. Alwise out. Pix in. Flavors out. Viral in. Yusuf still on AI, but he's gonna be in as well. And then we have Action Red Crew staying out as well. Oh, and Mihai is asking if he wants to do comms together. Oh, there we go. He's made a party already. Hello.
That was a race.
That was indeed a race. What happened to you?
I don't know, I'm gonna check again what happened, but me and DC were fighting.
Oh, so you're gonna check what actually happened before you start insulting people?
It's too late for that, but he did just swipe across me a bit, but I think that's racing incident. It's fine. Race was done after lap 9, am I?
What happened on lap 9? Did you get damaged?
Yeah, turn 1, because everyone decided to stop mid-turn 1.
Optimal. Yeah, that kind of happened in Austria. People just kind of stop because the DRS turn is so long. Get a massive concertina effect.
Then lap 1 there's a massive sandwich, which I was in the middle of. I impeded 3 people in qualifying.
3? That's...
I think two weren't on a lap, but
got Yusuf back in the pit lane.
I've somehow managed to beach myself on this game, so I had to press return to track and probably should have looked where I was.
Well, at least the safety car has spiced his rate up a little bit. Lanky Brown was actually 10 seconds in the lead since he pitted on the first safety car and hadn't pit again. So he was, I think he was going to go to the end. The safety car has allowed him to pit. They would have caught him for sure because they had like a 13 lap tire advantage or something like that. Now he's up there in P5 on fresh hearts. We've got Sean on the mediums down in 12th, as well as Bazooka, Dylan, Pix, and Viral. So those are ones to keep an eye out for. They might go through the field here. Although the hearts are not, like, old. Apart from Aussie, he's got 8 laps on those tires. Everybody else has got fairly fresh hearts. Oh, and a severe collision between Phantom and Edwin, apparently. Phantom gets a 10-second time penalty.
Ooh. I just want to ask, from what you saw, what happened on the safety car restart? Because it looked like we went, I think half the midfield guessed that we went, then stopped
I
again.
saw nothing. That's the first time I've heard there was an incident on the safety car restart. And PC Willie's restart looked fine, from what I saw, so it wasn't his fault for sure. I can say that much. But we are on the way again. Good restart by Edwin. But he's of course going to be hounded by Phantom Fox up to turn 3 of the stream. Kuko picks up a 3-second time penalty off the restart. So immediately disqualifies himself from the 5 in the race win essentially with that.
PC Will is already down to 60% battery as well. Does Gabriel has a moment, could he get a run? I don't think he will now.
Yellow flags at the back for Action Rick, who is round at turn 3. Edwin has kept the lead of Phantom Fox, who I reckon that 10-second penalty is going to down out his pit room and he will try and get that removed. Would be very surprised if not. Since I think a severe collision seemed quite... seems a little bit harsh, considering both cars seem to be very much intact and no one has lost any time. But our championship leader Edwin, he started down in 14th, now he's leading this race. Quite a bit of chaos. 2 safety cars so far helped him out quite a bit. And of course, not take anything away from him. Some very good driving to get up the field as well. Gary also coming from far down the field. I think he started in 11th if I remember correctly.
Phantom going for it on Edwin, then inside. Going into 2 or 3, whatever you want to call it.
I've been calling it 3, yeah. I mean, it really is 2. The thing they call turn 2 should never be a turn. But the track map says it's turn 3.
Might be the easiest turn on the calendar.
I mean, Saudi has about like 15 fake corners, if not more. Actually, no, do you know the little like right-hand kink on the exit of the China hairpin?
Oh yes.
That's a corner.
Does that count as?
That counts as a corner.
I don't notice it when I'm driving.
Of course you don't, but it counts as a corner. Well, the top 5 broken away. Aussie no longer in DRS range from Lanky Brown. So we've got 2 Saubers, 2 Ferraris, and PC really on his own up there now. And I did 3-second time penalty to Sean. on those fresh mediums. That's gonna hurt him quite a bit, I would say. We've got a 3 wide moment brewing at the front. We've got Edwin up into the Phantom. Gabri trying to sneak in as well. But Edwin takes the lead. Gabri stays in third. Now Phantom with a better exit and the DRS. It gets past Edwin and Gabri might follow through. Gabri to the outside into turn 4. Edwin braking as late as he possibly can and holds on to P2. I'm surprised how heavily these guys are battling over those places.
Ooh,
I've got a virtual safety car. Desi is around at the exit of turn 4 and lost part of his front wing. But I think it's only him, so I'm surprised it's a VSC.
I actually didn't see what happened. I was looking down there and I can't see it.
I don't know, I just saw Desi with half a minute in the wall, so he either spun or he had contact with another car, but nonetheless, that's a VSC for a small bit of front wing. Of course, Desi into the pit lane. The wing damage is pretty heavy, so he has to change that. Sean is in as well, and so is Always. So they must also have some damage, I imagine. Maybe they will also... Oh, Sean retiring from the race!
Oh.
Rage quit from our 3-time world champion, and a wing change for both Always and Desi as they get back underway at the back of the field in 16th and 17th. And Phantom has had a great safety car restart. He's out of the air range to Gabri. And Phantom could not be running away with this race. Of course, he has got a 10-second penalty hanging over his head still, so that, yeah, if he does win this race, that's gonna have to be decided in the stewards' room afterwards, if he actually keeps that win. Because I mean, he'd have to pull an absolute masterclass to actually gain a 10-second gap around Austria.
There's a fight somewhere I don't normally see a fight. In the 2 left, so DC Viral goes sideways, what you called it.
If you see a fight, before you do anything, can you tell me the name so I can switch on to them with the camera?
Okay.
I think Gabri, yep, he's back in the straight to Phantom Fox, crucially. He would have been under threat from Edwin otherwise. Of course, with that VSC, everyone has recharged the batteries, so we are ready for some more battling at the front here. And from what I've been seeing all race, these guys, they are not playing it tactical, they are just going for it. No one is waiting for the last lap, like in all the sweat leagues. We've got Guga on the back of Aussie. And with Aussie not having DRS, he's quite vulnerable. And Guga quite simply drives past him on the left-hand side. Nothing Aussie can do about that one, and Guga up into 7th, now chasing after Kuko, trying to get into that DRS range to make sure that Aussie doesn't just re-overtake him next lap. PC Willy is practically pushing Edwin through the last 2 corners here. So he's looking to set up a move to get up into a P3. Up ahead, Gabri, very close to the back of Phantom Fox. And the fast lap the race from first Gabri, then PC Willy. Gabri is definitely about to change the lead here. He's very close behind Phantom and definitely has to run to turn 3. And the same in behind, I think, for PC Willy. Might be able to get Edwin here. No, he's staying behind. PC Willy is being very patient. Unlike everybody else who is kind of descending it. PC Willy seems to be, yeah, just holding back, making sure he stays out of trouble. Got a yellow flag up ahead. That is Desi, who was round again at turn 4. This time it definitely would have been on his own. And he's lapped down as well. And I think marks the end of Desi's race. Once you're lapped down, even the safety car can't really save you. Gabri mainly putting a bit of a gap between himself and Phantom Fox. 6/10 ahead. PC Willy now has got around the... Oh, and a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. He didn't pass it. He didn't pass. He passed Desi. He's got 20 seconds of penalties, and I think both bullshit.
Could he get disqualified? If he gets
another one, he might get disqualified, yeah. Oh my god.
That would be a very interesting outcome.
Because I think the only person he passed under yellow flag, which for one, I've never seen anyone not pass under like actually back out of a pass under yellow flag on the F1 game. Everyone just goes for it anyway because the game doesn't penalize it, and of course like there's no actual safety reason not to do it. If you crash, you're fine. You're not gonna die.
Dylan passed one of the Alpines, so has Bazooka up ahead.
So yeah, Phantom got a 10-second penalty for passing a lap car that was causing the yellow flag. Incredible. Thank you, Codemasters. Where does Phantom actually finish with this? He finishes behind Pix. Deserved.
Ooh, Guga and Elsie fighting. Guga had to look at a switchback into a penultimate corner. It's never gonna work.
Surprised they're fighting so hard. They should probably work together to try and catch Kuko, surely.
Oh.
Kuko up with 3-second time penalty. And I think I see damage. Yes, Kuko River has got a damaged front right end plate. But if they work together, I think they can stay within the 3 seconds of Kuko and both get a place that way, rather than battling each other for a place. And of course, then come the last lap, they can fight each other.
Guga going for a move. Ooh, that's a bit late. Down into, I don't know what the corner name is, I think that's 4.
That is 4. The king on the straight doesn't count as a corner. Pisivoli on the inside of Edwin for the double left-hander, and he's pulled it off. Pisivoli up in the 3rd place. He's been very patient, but now that he's had a bit of ES to use, and he saw his opportunity, he took it, and he's onto the podium places. At the moment, we've got Gabri in P1, Phantom, I'm gonna count him as P2, I think both those penalties are removable. And Pisivoli in 3rd, then Edwin in 4th, that's a 23-point swing. No. That's a 13-point swing in favor of Gabri, let's calm down a bit. But still, that would put him a lot closer. Pisivoli now, also with the move on Phantom Fox, Pisivoli is flying through this pack. Half a lap, he's gone from P4 to P2. Aussie with the move on Guga into turn 3, and they are losing more and more time to Kuko here. They need to get a move on, really. They've also got Dylan in behind on the mediums chasing after them, but Dylan himself's got to contest with Flavors and Bazooka, both Alpines, right in the back of the Aston Martin. And Flavors got a very good run on Dylan. Dylan has to cover the inside, but Flavors tries around the outside, tries to switch back as well. Hasn't got a traction, but he's got a bit of EIS here. Is he gonna get anywhere alongside him? Nope. Dylan holds on to 9 for now. Of course, there is 3 DRS zones coming up next lap, and the next lap, and the next lap. So, you would think eventually. And Dylan with another 3-second time penalty, his second one of this race. Now he's up to 6 seconds of penalties.
Aussie and Guga are still going at it really hard.
Yeah, they have. I don't think they care about Guga. They want to beat each other. These guys are just racing, which is lovely to see.
I'm seeing quite a bit of, I don't know how to describe it, I think bump drafting would be a term from Guga.
Maybe he wants to stay behind until the last lap. Is it time for that? Are we doing that? We are pretty close to the end already. Now Gabriel will be hoping he can hold on to that P1, and he might even, well, nah, Lanky has a penalty. I was gonna say he might eye Lanky to get P4 as well, but that's not gonna matter. But yeah, the main thing that Gabriel needs is that win, and then hopefully Edwin as far down as possible. Yellow flags for Yusuf, who's round at turn 4. He joins the race in 14th. I think that's his chance of point as well. I wouldn't say completely gone, he's not that far away from Flavor, still in the rival. About 8 seconds, but he's gonna need some instant up ahead, I would say now. The top 5 though still locked together. Garby followed by PC Woody, who is not looking for instant of move, he is happy to stay behind in P2. Edwin though, he's looking for a move, look at that, up the inside of Phantom Fox into turn 3. Now burning some oil to get past the Sauber, but he hasn't got the run. Lanky though, he's got the run. Edwin with a bad exit after sending it on Phantom. And now, we've got Lanky Brown looking around the outside, but he can't quite let alongside enough, and Edwin holds on. In the meantime, Desi retiring in the pit lane. After being a lap down, he now decides to call it a day. And PC with 100% EAS, I mean, I think everyone, Garby knows what's going to happen, PC knows what's going to happen, we both know what's going to happen, all the other drivers up there know what's going to happen. PC needs to start sending it on the last lap. Until then, PC will stay exactly where he is.
Yep. That's
Oh,
the situation back here with Guga and Austria as well.
yeah, I mean, PC really needs to make sure that he stays ahead of Lanky Brown as well. That would be quite bad if he drops behind all three of them. But mainly ahead of Phantom Fox. He needs to make sure he stays in that second position. And he's turning the ERS off, he's going out to non-ERS. That man is not making any sort of movement. And of course, Phantom Fox might try and take advantage of that. He might try and catch PC Woody off guard, get that second place, and then get after Garby himself. So while it seems like PC Woody is just sitting here doing nothing, this is quite a difficult thing to pull off because he needs to make sure that this gap to Phantom Fox is big enough that Phantom can't overtake him, or that if Phantom Fox does actually have a run on him, that he has to make the decision: do I then take the lead? Because the only way he can defend from Phantom is by passing Gabri. Because he's so close, there's no space to go anywhere else, so he has to then make the move on Gabri if he wants to defend Phantom. So then he has a decision to make: do I take P1 or do I prefer to be P3? It's not really a great thing to watch, but as a driver, this sort of end of the race DRS games is quite interesting and quite difficult as well. And now we've got exactly that, because look at that, Edwin, all of a sudden, because PC when he wasn't going for it, he's been punished. And he's now the fifth. Because he was going so slow down that straight that Phantom, Edwin and Lanky Brown all managed to get involved. And now Edwin is actually ghosting through Lanky Brown heading to turn 4, trying to get back ahead of at least him. And I think that it's going to work out for him. He might even get Edwin back, but he's made his job of getting that race win a lot more difficult now. He's up to P3 once more. He's got Lanky and Edwin back, but Phantom Fox has managed to take P2 and all of that. And just as I said it, I might be the best commentator.
That's what I've heard you for best commentator. But Dylan and the two Alpines, that little pack is catching up to Kuga as well. It's slow, but they are starting to catch it.
Yeah, well, we are getting very close enough to the race now, so... And no penalties for Guga and Aussie means that the only one in that pack who can really do anything about them is Bazooka, of course, it's at the back of the pack. Phantom Fox got absolutely no ERS left, so for Garby, what happened behind it, and Phantom Fox also quite far behind, so he's gonna have to use ERS to get close, and then use ERS to get past. And he has no ERS. So that's quite a bad situation for Phantom Fox. He's got PC really pushing in behind. Garby was definitely helped quite a bit by all of that what just happened behind him. Edwin, not that much ERS either. He doesn't seem to be putting a lot of pressure on PC really up ahead. This could be a very, very good end to the race for Garby, unless Phantom Fox can manage to recharge that ERS without being overtaken by PC only, without losing DRS to Garby, and of course he's going to want to be a bit closer than 7 tenths behind as well. From this far back, Garby is definitely able to defend if he wants to. Three more laps.
Fight with the Alpines, and I think I've seen... Yeah, Dylan's into pits, I think.
Here comes PC Woody, I think. No, not this time around.
Oh, Dylan, 10 seconds, and he's retired. I think there's an incident in turn 3.
PC Woody with the overtake mode now. He's going to try and make a move on Phantom Fox. He goes around the outside into turn 4. This could be an absolutely crucial battle for the race win. PC Woody is going to go around the outside of Phantom Fox. Has got the exit speed. Yes, he does. PC Woody up in the second place. He's burned a bit of overtake to make that happen. Now he needs to recharge. He had to do it the hard way. He dropped back down to 5th place. Got Lanky and Edwin right back. And now he's gotten past Phantom Fox. He's got one more car between himself and the race win. And we're back in the situation we were in earlier. PC Woody's gonna recharge ERS behind Garby. He's gonna wait for the last lap. And then he will go. But Phantom Fox, of course, he did it once before. This time, PC Woody will of course know it's coming. He will know that Phantom Fox is not going to shoot behind as well. Phantom Fox will try the same thing he did earlier to try and catch PC Woody off guard. PC Woody is 6 tenths behind Garby, which is a good thing, because that means he can go down the straight at full pace without making a move on him. No chance for Phantom Fox to go through this time. And there's only one more lap remaining after this. PC Woody is in a very good spot to win this race, because he's got a bit of ERS recharged already. Van der Fox is not looking to make any sort of move, and he's right behind Gabri now.
Phantom with his 20 seconds penalties, I will say, I shouldn't have to say this, but he could be just one warning away from potentially being disqualified by the game. He's on 2 warnings at the moment.
No, 23 seconds is gonna got you. You can get like 30 before you get disqualified.
I've seen people get disqualified of 17.
Oh well, I don't know. Heading into the last lap now. Pisivoli is all over the back of Gabri, 3/10, and he's certainly close enough to make a move heading up into turn 3. But is he gonna wait that long? Yes, he's not gonna go here. Is he gonna wait to turn 3 or turn 4? What's the best position to do it? I would say turn 4, so Gabri can't respond. But that straight is a bit shorter, so it's more risky. Here we go then. Van der Fox also very closely behind. Edwin ready to capitalize on any sort of mistakes in behind. Here we go, up the hill. Pisivoli does not want to go for it here. Van der Fox looks up the inside as well. Gabri fully locking all tires. And Pisivoli with a bad exit. Van der Fox switchbacks him for P2. Gabri's a bit further up ahead. Pisivoli and Van der Fox side by side. Down the straight, down to turn 4. Gabri covering the inside line. They're going to be 3 wide now. Van der Fox in the middle. Gabri on the inside. Pisivoli on the outside. And I think Gabri's got the advantage. Yes, got a better exit. And now Edwin looks as well into that battle. But he can't find a space for himself. Pisivoli and Van der Fox side by side. Through the left. Gabri looks to have won this race. Pisivoli is going to come out ahead here, I think, on the inside line. Edwin looks up the inside as well. Has he gotten Van der Fox with that? I think he does. They're going to be side by side. They're going to be side by side into the last 2 corners. Van der Fox pulls ahead. Edwin is runner of the EAS deployment there. And Van der Fox takes the podium. But Gabri, over the line, takes home the race win here in Austria. An absolutely crucial win. Pisivoli in second, then Phantom. And then Edwin down in 4th. Of course, Phantom will not drop way down with 20 seconds of penalties. Those are almost certainly removable. So that means a 13-point swing in favor of Gabri. As it stands, of course. I did see Gabri have an incident with Rival earlier, which I'm pretty sure was Gabri's fault. So if Rival chooses to report that, this could be thrown upside down once more. But as it stands, that is a huge, huge moment in the title fight. And Gabri is right back in it. The gap previously at 27 points, I think it was. Now down to just 14. Or if we take the P3 from Edwin down to 17. But nonetheless, Gabri a whole lot closer with that race win here in Austria. Driver of the day goes to Edwin, of course, started down in 14th, made his way up to 3rd, he had a great race. But I would say Gabri is, for me, the driver of the day. The race he had as well, starting quite far down the field, managing it to perfection on the last lap there. Making sure he stays alongside, covers the inside, makes it difficult, and forces as well a bit of a battle between Pisivoli and Van der Fox, makes those two go side by side, and well, in making those two battle, he ensured that they couldn't battle him. They were too worried about each other that Gabri was able to just drive away at the front. And it's something that I would say has been one of Gabri's biggest weakness. Like, bringing these race wins home, playing those DRS games on the last laps, has been what's been costing him quite often. His pace has always been very, very strong. One of the strongest, if not the strongest, in Div 2. But today I saw something from Gabri that I've not usually seen from him, which is this race management. Also, look at this. Starting in 9th, 11th, 14th, 16th, 1st, and 18th. Kuko's the only one in the top 6 who's actually started higher than 9th.
That's... I think, in fairness, we do have to take those qualifying positions with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, of course, the rain.
Massive track evolution.
Well, what a race that was. Very, very enjoyable. Battling the whole way through. Thank you guys very much for watching that. Thank you, Mihai, for joining me on the comments for the second half of the race there.
Yeah, not voluntarily, but...
We've got 2 more races left to go in the season now, and a championship that is, well, still very much to be decided with the current results of this race. No matter what, the championship will not be decided today. Edwin did not get the win the fastest lap, and Gabri did indeed score some points. So it will go down to Brazil, And then we've got Monza on the last race on this game. Of course, also in Division 1 still, the Brazilian and the Italian Grand Prix at Monza to go. The championship situation there as well, it's still undecided. We've got Kart leading on 135, followed by me, 28 points behind on 107. Then Jeremy, 3 points behind me, 38 behind Kart on 104. So still a three-way title battle as well there, although I would say Kart Racer is the big favorite there, 28 points ahead with 2 races to go, so even further ahead than Edwin was going into today with 1 less race. But I'm going to try my best to make it exciting. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this race. See you all in 7 days from now for the Brazilian Grand Prix in Division 2, as well as on Saturday for the Brazilian Grand Prix in Division 1. Goodbye.